franchise-based T20 tournaments, that not a lot of people wants to play 4-day cricket in the Caribbean. A lot of people are obviously into the T20 cricket. And sometimes I think to be a good T20 cricketer, I feel you need to play the longer version of the game. That's where you really get your basic skills. T20 is a lot of innovation. And if you look at the top T20 players in the world, they play authentic cricket, and those are the ones who play test match cricket. And I think that we in the Caribbean, we need to try to instill in our players, yes, you can reach the CPL and the IPL, but you need to get your foundation right. And I think the foundation starts at the 4-day cricket.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the concerns and how do we quell some of these concerns. Do you think government should perhaps get involved, and what sort of impact can this have on our sports tourism, for instance?
Well, government tried to get involved at CARICOM level. They wanted to have a meeting earlier this year with ICC and obviously in London. And ICC said no, they wouldn't meet unless Dave Cameron, who is the president of West Indies Cricket Board, attends that meeting. Unfortunately, that meeting didn't come off. And the governments are trying. But again, ICC has a policy where if governments are involved in cricket, they have a hands off. They're not going to get involved. So that is the problem. And I think that government needs to try just to work a bit closer and try to bring a bit more. We saw sandpaper used in South Africa when Australia played, which was not good. 3 guys got banned. But just try to use a smoother sandpaper and get into West Indies cricket. I honestly believe that one of the governments or some governmental or government officials should actually be part of Cricket West Indies, so that input from governments can be going towards Cricket West Indies to take our cricket forward, because both entities need each other to take the cricket forward.
In terms of suggestions also, what are your thoughts on advertising?
Yeah, I think advertising is lacking. Cricket West Indies, it's particularly for this series, and they just had a 3-day game against the President's 11 in Taruba, and a lot of people didn't know about that game. And I thought it was a perfect opportunity for the Cricket West Indies to get in and advertise this series, seeing that it's starting here today in Trinidad and Tobago, and get people to be aware, yes, the Sri Lankans are here. They play a good brand of cricket. They have some world-class cricketers as well. And obviously they're playing against a Windies side who has played sporadic cricket. They've won 2 in the last 12 test matches, I believe. And obviously they need the support. And we have to try and rally around this new breed of West Indies cricketers that we're going to see. The likes of Shea Holt, Roston Chase. Obviously Jason Holt is the captain, and he's going to be there. Craig Braffett is deputy. And there are a number of other cricketers who I believe in that squad. They'll be the world beaters to come. So we need that support. And advertising obviously is a must.
Now, could there be a potential split between the Trinidad and Tobago cricket and West Indies cricket?
I don't want to see a split at all, because even going back to your question about sports tourism, this is where sports tourism comes in. Obviously, cricket is a sport, and tourists follow cricket, so this is a good mesh. But obviously, if you get that split, sports tourism wouldn't take off, because Cricket West Indies is a product that is sold throughout the world. I mean, they come to the region to bring the various matches. Tourists follows, and not only tourists from the overseas market, I'm talking about regional tourists as well. And that is something that we need to encourage. We don't want Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board and the West Indies Cricket Board to split. I don't think that should be a given thought at all. We want both of these entities to work hand in hand to take West Indies cricket forward. And the other 5 or 6 regional boards, they also need to come on board and try to solve this problem where people will know that West Indies cricket is playing in a particular territory, and get the people to come and support. There are a number of incentives that can be on offer once the marketing teams get out there and ask corporate companies throughout the region, to sponsor a day and give people stuff. We're in a position, we're in recession, as people keep saying, but we're still seeing these big conglomerates making profits. Why can't you give back to the cricket public, who we keep saying cricket brings us together, it's our unifying force? But every time you hear West Indies cricket, people get sad faces and we start to quarrel.
Let's talk a little bit about sponsorship. So Digicel would have ended sponsorship. Let's talk about that long-standing relationship, and now we have Sandals coming on board.
Yeah, so Digicel was very good to West Indies cricket. And before Digicel, we have Cable and Wireless. And obviously, we have to commend both of those telecommunication companies. But Digicel in particular, they really transformed the face of West Indies cricket. It's just unfortunate that we didn't win a lot of tournaments and competitions under the Digicel banner. But I want to say thanks to Digicel for sponsoring West Indies for such a long time. Sanders has been there before, and now obviously they've raised their heads again. Gordon Buxtor, a revolutionist, and he obviously has come into cricket now, and we see the possibilities of Sandals taking our cricket even further. And a good brand like Sandals, everyone should feel good to know that they're on board for West Indies cricket. And again, as a Caribbean-based company, and it's good to see that Caribbean-based company actually putting some money back into Cricket West Indies.
Yes. Now, I know we started the conversation talking about today's game, so I'd like to touch a little bit more on that. What are your thoughts? What can we expect today?
Well, I expect West Indies to have a good test match. I expect today to be a good day for West Indies. I expect West Indies also to win this series. It is important because the way how ICC is structured now with the cricket, you have to beat people ahead of you to get points. Sri Lanka is above us in the point standings. I think we are ranked 9th in the world or 10th in the world in test match cricket, and Sri Lanka middle table. So if we can get over Sri Lanka in this series, let's say maybe 2-1, it would give us some points moving forward. And then we face Bangladesh late in the summer. So I think that this test match is going to be very, very important. The start of this test series here in Trinidad and Tobago for West Indies is going to be very, very important. And we need to hit the road running. We are at home. And we need to show the Sri Lankans that despite what happened in New Zealand last year and earlier this year, that we're still a good test match nation playing at home. And I believe home runs beat first, and we should go there and really play West Indies, the brand of cricket that people expect Windies to play.
What about recommendations? What sort of recommendations you can make if you had to?
Recommendations, would they take my recommendations? They might hear them and just shuck them away. You know, what goes in comes out. But I think that what is recommended for Windies cricket, particularly when you have these young guys who've been now playing together for 2 or 3 years, you need to encourage them of their ability. And they're playing international cricket. They're already selected, so they shouldn't even be thinking about selection. All they need to do is concentrate on going out there and putting in the best performances of their lives. My former teammate, Desmond Hayes, once told me, after every day's play, you go in the mirror and ask yourself, did I give 110% today? And that is what these young cricketers in Windies cricket need to do starting from today. Go out there and put in a big effort so they can stand in the mirror and be honest to themselves. They're represented Windies, which we are truly grateful for. And I think that obviously there's a legacy that needs to be protected as well. And not only a legacy, we have the World Cup coming up in 2019, which we are going to be a part of. So we need to send a message to the world as well. Look, we are still a force to be reckoned with. Despite we don't have the muscle that we used to, but we have consistent performers that can do the job day in and day out.
So do you think we don't have sufficient morals, or they don't have sufficient moral support?
I think that the moral support is lacking, and we need to have more of it. We need to have people coming out and really supporting West Indies cricket. I know people will be angry that maybe a Dan Bravo is not in this test squad, but he's working his way back. And I believe that in the distant future, we will see Dan Bravo back in West Indies colours playing test match cricket. I think that's where he's best suited. And then once he gets settled there, we'll see him going back into white ball cricket for West Indies. But I think that they still need to come out and support this young side. There are a lot of talent in this side. You like to see Shannon Grable bowling very fast at Queen's Park Oval. We like to see Keeman Roach taking wickets and Jason Holt and the whole lot. Devendra Bishu, we like to see those guys really putting a good bowling performance. And then we bowl Sri Lanka. When we bat for maybe a day or 2 days and put pressure on Sri Lanka. So I think that the support is needed. When I used to play, we played against England. I saw some clippings the other day. You had 10 or 15,000 people watching cricket and screaming your name, and you felt good.
Wow.
When you go to an international venue like the Queen's Park Oval and you only get 100, 200 people, it hurts as a cricketer.
So it really impacts you.
It impacts you because you have a big stadium and all you're seeing is seats, no human beings. And I think that the people of Trinidad and Tobago should really push away this thing about boycotting this game and come and support Windies cricket. Come and support this new generation who are going to take our cricket forward. The other guys they have played, they've done their part, and if they want to get back into West Indies cricket, they know what they have to do. So the decision is up to them, but we need to support these young guys starting from today.
So you are particularly optimistic about the skill set that we currently have?
I think we have good skill sets, but we don't play as a collective group. You can have as many skills as possible individually, but if you don't bring your skills together as one, you're going to struggle. And I think that is where Windies fall down. You will find that we will bowl well in one department and then we will bat poorly in another department. Or a batsman will score 100 and then the other 10 batsmen even get 25 between themselves. So there need to be consistency, consistent performances from the team. Those 11 guys need to support each other. And it's a day in, day out. It's going to be for the next 5 days. Well, it's going to be for the next 15 days because a test match is 5 days, there are 3 test matches. And it's for the next 15 days that these guys really have to knuckle down and play 15 solid days of cricket. And the test match in Barbados is going to be the first ever day and night test match in the Caribbean. So that is going to be history in its making as well. So you want them to start this series well, knowing that when they get to Barbados, they'll already have confidence going into that day and night test match we play with a pink ball. So they have a lot riding on them, West Indies.
It's been a pleasure chatting with you, Mr. Wallace. Thank you so much for taking the time to come here this morning. So we've been chatting with the man himself, Philip Wallace, former opening batsman, West Indies. And of course, as we end this segment, rally around the West Indies and best of luck to them today. We take a short break, a lot more when we return. Stay tuned.